Did you know that Google now processes over 99,000 search queries every second? And that translates to over 8.5 billion searches every day. So think about the amount of data that lives within Google. How can we tap into that? We can do that using a tool called Google Trends, which is a unique search tool that leverages the massive data warehouse that is Google. To get to Google Trends, simply type in trends.google.com, or you can go to the Omnibox and just type in Google Trends and find it very easily. When you get there, you'll see that the homepage features topics that Google detects are trending together within the last 24 hours. So they use the tools of Google Search, Google News, and YouTube to determine which topics are trending based on the relative spike in volume and the absolute volume of searches. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. If you scroll down, you're going to see some subjects that are trending, and you can dive deeper by clicking on, this is March, of course, so March Madness is going on. If I click on March Madness, I can dig down and see some really interesting information. I hope you'll take the time to, to find out about some of that. But right now, I'm going to go back to the home page, and I'm going to scroll down just a moment to show you a couple of special projects that were made with trends. And these are things that are typically made for fun or they're interesting. For example, this local year in search allows you to put in your zip code and find out what things were searched most in your area. And there's tons of topics. Like I just learned that the most popular recipe search in the Roanoke, Virginia area last year was easy recipe for squash casserole. So it's just fun. You can dig into that. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see there's some actual mini courses that teach you about Google Trends. These are super useful for both you and your students to learn how Google Trends works. So for now, we're going to skip over Explore. We're coming back to that, and we're going to click on Trending Now. So this is another place where you're going to see what's been trending recently. And you're going to see some of the same stories that were on the homepage, but you'll also see references to the number of searches, and there are some articles linked. That's under Daily Search Trends. Excuse me. If I click on Real Time Search Trends, then I see also within the past 24 hours, but I can follow it almost up to the present time. So the graphs here go almost up to right now. So if I look at this, that was at 3 p.m. It's now 3:24. So, and notice I can change where I'm searching. So I hope you'll take the time to really dig into some of these things because you can learn so much. But what I'm particularly excited about is the Explore tool, and I feel like it has the most implications for education. So this is the place where you can put in your own search term and you can also compare terms. So just as an example, I'm going to type in AI, artificial intelligence. And since that's something I know has been, kind of popular over time, I'm going to click enter. And what it's going to do is it's going to give me a graph. If I scroll down and look below, it's going to show me the interest in AI over time based on searches. So notice that by default, it looks at the past 12 months. I can change that time parameter. I could change the location. I can change lots of things. So let's take a look at this. So notice there's some spikes here. If I hover, I can see some numbers. And so this has a search value of 41. So search interest numbers, they don't represent the absolute search volume. They reflect how many searches have been done for that particular term relative to the total number of searches done in Google. So, for example, a value of 100 would equal, it would mean that's the maximum search interest for that time and location. And so we see that that happened on the week of December 4th for 2022. Well, I happen to know that there was an AI tool called Chat GPT that was introduced on November 30th of 2022. So that there could be a relation there between that spike in the search for AI and Chat GPT. Well, here's what we can do. In this second box, we can actually type in Chat GPT, click enter. And what Google will do is it will now show me a comparison of the searches of ChatGPT and AI. And if you notice, ChatGPT didn't exist until November 30th. And so the week of November 27th through December 3rd, notice it starts to go up because that's when it was introduced. But it's also interesting to note that these graphs uh, run parallel. And so you can see that the spike in AI, while bigger than the spike in ChatGPT, they follow the same type of trajectory. So that's interesting. Now, if I scroll down, it gets really interesting. So the first thing I see is a compared breakdown between AI and ChatGPT. And so I can see that Missouri was the state that comes up number one. And if I hover over this graph, I can see the percentages uh, out of all searches for those two terms. Okay, notice, well, let's scroll down and look at a couple other things. So then it breaks it down. It breaks it down by AI, and then I get a red map for Chat GPT. So check this out. I see related queries here. But here's really cool. If I click on subregion, I can even break it down to the city. And so I can look and I can hover over this and it will show me the search interest of different cities. Okay, I can even see that in list format if I want to. So coming down and I can hover over a state. This is Virginia, has a search interest of 66. So if I look at this by city, and then I listed in list form, check it out. Blacksburg was number 4 in interest by subregion in Chat GPT. And so, wow, I just learned some interesting things about my hometown. So that's really cool. So as you can see, um, there's just so much here. And so we're just taking a very cursory glance at this. If you see the word breakout here, that means that the search term grew by more than 5,000%. So you can see that there was a big jump in searching for ChatGPT. So I know that that was a super quick, like overview of trends, but one more thing I want to show you. So over here is a menu, and most of the same things are here. You know that 3 lines in Google always means more. If we click there, it's mostly the same stuff. There's a help place, a place where you can send feedback, but I want to draw your attention also to the year in search, which is a fascinating project that Google has been doing for a long time now. So each year they put together a montage of the things that were most searched during the year. And there's the one for 2022. But you can also scroll down here and see what is trending among different categories. And this is just fascinating stuff. So make sure you have some time when you decide to look at this because it is so fascinating that you're just going to want to spend some time with it. So I hope that you will get in there and figure out the implications for education and just for you in general, and just have some fun with it. That's Google Trends. You're going to love it.